Let's talk about something that most health content gets completely wrong. The conversation around gut health has become so focused on what to buy, which probiotic, which powder, which detox kit, that we've completely lost sight of what the body already knows how to do on its own. And the truth is, your digestive system is a sophisticated, self-regulating network. The problem isn't that it's broken. The problem is that we've been interrupting it at every turn. So today, we're going through 5 specific mechanisms, how they work, why they matter, and what practical steps actually align with how the body is designed to function. No supplements required. The first mechanism, your internal maintenance cycle. Between meals, your small intestine enters what researchers call a housekeeping phase. It's a coordinated muscular contraction pattern that moves through the digestive tract in waves, clearing out residue, bacteria, and debris that weren't fully processed during digestion. Scientists refer to this as the migrating motor complex, but think of it simply as your gut's built-in maintenance cycle. Here's what makes this important. This cycle only activates when your stomach is empty. It needs roughly 90 minutes of no caloric intake before it even begins, and then another 90 minutes to complete a full pass. The moment you eat something, even something small, the cycle halts and resets. For most people eating a modern diet, this cycle barely gets a chance to run. Breakfast, a mid-morning snack, lunch, an afternoon coffee with cream, a pre-dinner bite, dinner, something sweet after. The eating window never fully closes. Without that maintenance cycle completing regularly, residue accumulates in the small intestine, creating conditions for bacterial overgrowth, fermentation, and the kind of uncomfortable bloating that people often misattribute to specific foods. The adjustment is simple in concept, though it takes some habit building. Extending the gap between meals to 4 or 5 hours without snacking in between gives the maintenance cycle enough runway to actually finish. That low rumbling you sometimes feel between meals, that's often the cycle running, not a signal that you're starving. Learning to sit with that sensation instead of immediately reaching for food is one of the highest leverage changes you can make for digestive health. The second mechanism, building microbial diversity. Inside your digestive tract, there are trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and other microbes collectively called the gut microbiome. This isn't a static environment, it shifts based on what you feed it. And the most consistent finding in microbiome research isn't about any specific superfood or strain of bacteria, it's about variety. Research involving tens of thousands of participants has found that people who regularly eat a wide range of plant foods tend to have significantly more diverse microbiomes. And diversity, it turns out, is one of the strongest indicators of gut health overall. Different bacterial species thrive on different types of plant fiber. Onion-based fibers feed certain populations. The fiber in walnuts feeds others. Berries, legumes, leafy greens, each feeds a different set of residents. The benchmark identified in large-scale gut research is eating around 30 different plant varieties per week. That sounds like a lot, but herbs, spices, seeds, and nuts all count. It's not about eating enormous quantities, it's about rotating. The third mechanism, eating in sync with your biology. Your digestive system doesn't operate at a flat, constant efficiency. It follows a rhythm tied to your circadian biology, the same internal clock that governs your sleep and wake cycle. Insulin sensitivity, digestive enzyme production, and gut motility are all significantly higher during daylight hours and significantly lower after dark. Studies comparing the same caloric intake consumed at different times of day have shown measurable differences in blood sugar response, fat metabolism, and inflammatory markers, even when the food itself is identical. Eating the same meal in the morning versus late at night produces different physiological outcomes. That's not a small detail, it's a fundamental feature of how human metabolism is structured. When digestion is happening at night, the body has to divert resources away from the cellular repair and immune maintenance work that typically happens during sleep. The two processes compete, and when digestion loses that nighttime rest window, the gut lining, which naturally regenerates during sleep, doesn't get the recovery time it needs. A practical application of this is time-restricted eating, not as a weight loss strategy, but as a way of aligning food intake with the body's active metabolic window. Keeping meals within a 10 to 12-hour window during the day and allowing the gut to rest overnight supports the lining's natural repair cycle. It also prevents the downstream disruption to sleep quality that comes from active digestion running late into the night. The fourth mechanism, the nerve that controls digestion. There is a direct physical connection between your brain and your gut. It's called the vagus nerve, and it runs from the brainstem all the way down through the torso, interfacing with the heart, lungs, and digestive organs. This nerve carries information in both directions, and its state at any given moment determines whether your digestive system is fully active or effectively on pause. Your autonomic nervous system operates in two primary states. In the first, often called fight or flight, the body is responding to perceived threat. Blood flow is redirected to the limbs, heart rate increases, non-essential processes slow down. Digestion is considered non-essential in this state. Stomach acid production decreases, gut motility slows, enzyme secretion drops. In the second, often called rest and digest, the body is in a parasympathetic mode. Resources are directed toward internal maintenance. Digestion runs efficiently. This is the state you need to be in when you eat. The challenge is that most people eat in an activated, stressed state, eating at a desk while reading emails, eating while navigating traffic, eating while scrolling through content that creates low-level anxiety. Physiologically, none of these scenarios allow efficient digestion, regardless of the quality of the food. There is a remarkably simple way to shift into the rest and digest state before a meal. Take 3 slow, deliberate breaths before eating, making the exhale noticeably longer than the inhale. Extended exhalation directly stimulates the vagus nerve, signaling to the nervous system that it is safe to shift modes. This takes less than a minute and has a measurable effect on how your body processes the meal that follows. It's not a wellness trend, it's applied neuroscience. The fifth mechanism, reducing what's working against you. The previous 4 mechanisms are all about supporting the gut's natural function. This one is about stopping the interference. Because you can eat a varied, well-timed diet, manage your stress, and leave space between meals, and still undermine all of it if you're consistently exposing your microbiome to compounds that disrupt it. 2 categories matter most here. The first is antibiotic exposure. Antibiotics are essential medicine in the right circumstances, but they don't discriminate between harmful and beneficial bacteria. They affect the entire microbial ecosystem. The recovery time for microbiome diversity after a course of antibiotics can extend for months. Beyond prescribed medication, many people are also getting low-level antibiotic exposure through conventionally farmed animal products, where antibiotics are used preventatively in livestock. The second category is pesticide residue on produce. Certain agricultural chemicals are specifically designed to kill microorganisms. When those residues are consumed, research suggests they can have disruptive effects on human gut bacteria as well, particularly with produce that absorbs or retains higher concentrations of sprays. Lists like the Environmental Working Group's annual produce rankings can help you prioritize where organic choices make the most practical difference. Water quality is also worth considering. Municipal tap water is chlorinated as a public health measure that's appropriate and necessary for water safety. But chlorine functions as an antimicrobial agent, and consuming it in significant quantities throughout the day may have mild microbiome disrupting effects. A basic carbon filter for drinking water removes most chlorine without any complexity or significant expense. None of these changes are extreme. Choosing organic for the highest residue produce, filtering drinking water, being thoughtful about antibiotic use. These are low-effort, high-impact adjustments that remove friction from all the other work you're doing. Bringing it together. What these 5 mechanisms have in common is that none of them require you to buy anything. They require you to understand how the system works and to stop doing things that interrupt it. Give your gut the uninterrupted time between meals to run its maintenance cycle. Feed a wide variety of plant foods to support a diverse microbial community. Align your eating window with your circadian biology. Prepare your nervous system for digestion before you eat, and reduce the environmental load that quietly disrupts your microbiome every day. Your gut lining turns over quickly. The cellular renewal cycle is measured in days, not months. That means the system responds to changes faster than most people expect. You don't need to wait for a significant health event to start paying attention to this. The choices that matter most are the ordinary, daily ones that don't look dramatic from the outside, but accumulate into real, measurable changes over time. If this kind of evidence-based breakdown is useful to you, subscribing means you won't miss what's coming next. We go deep on how these biological systems connect and what the research actually says. Like the video if it added something to how you think about this, and let me know in the comments which of these 5 areas you're going to focus on first. See you in the next one.